Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the weekly Mi Ka'amcha Yisrael Parashat Ki Tisa. V'hasiroti et kapi v'ra'ita et ahorai upanai lo yera'u. Then I will remove my hand and you will see my back, but my face shall not be seen. The Chatam Sofer comments that we understand the true purpose of historical events only after they take place. As implied in the Pasuk, and you shall see my back. It teaches us that the Holy One, blessed be He, showed Moshe the knot on his tefillin. The knot signifies Klal Yisrael's eternal attachment to the Almighty, even though we may not realize His providential involvement in divine intervention in our lives until much later on. The famed Magid of Yerushalayim, Reb Shalom Schwadron, was orphaned from a saintly father at the tender young age of 7. Instead of wallowing in misery, he dedicated his life to the pursuit of Torah and Yirat Shemayim, and by the age of 16, he was already considered the best Bachur in the Lomzai Yeshiva in Petach Tikva under the tutelage of the Rosh Yeshiva Reb Ruvain Katz. Feeling that it was time to move up to the next level in his learning, he and another of the top students in the yeshiva decided to take a bechina, an entrance exam, at the renowned Slobodka Yeshiva in the city of Hebron. They came to the Rosh Yeshiva, Reb Moshe Mordechai Epstein, who tested them and immediately informed them they were not accepted into the yeshiva. Surprised and crestfallen, they returned to Petach Tikva, all the while unable to comprehend the reason for their rejection. 40 years later, the now world-famous Magid was asked to speak at a charity function. A highly regarded rabbi introduced him with the following words: "It is my honor to introduce the great Magid, Reb Shalom Schwadron, whose tremendous impact on the Torah world is deeply felt. Yet before I do, I must recount how Reb Shalom's greatness, indeed his very existence, is a testament to the foresight of the late Lomza Rosh Yeshiva Ruvain Katz, of whom I was a personal friend. Many years ago, he shared with me the following spectacular story. When the two best Bachurim in Yeshiva decided to take a Bechina at the Slobodka Yeshiva, Rav Ruvain was at a loss. On the one hand, he wanted them to grow in Torah, while on the other, he didn't want the Yeshiva to suffer the loss. Immediately, he sent a letter to the Slobodka Rosh Yeshiva with an important message. In a few days, 2 students from Petach Tikva will be arriving in Hebron. They are Shalom Schwadron and Ezra Brazil, the most outstanding students of the yeshiva. I implore you, stop! Don't accept them. I fear that the debilitating loss of their tremendous hatmada, chokhmah, and their ability to maintain their camaraderie amongst the students would have a devastating effect on the Lomzai Yeshiva, from which we may never recover." The rabbi continued his narration. Reb Moshe Mordechai followed the advice of his counterpart in Petach Tikva, and when the boys came before him, they were not accepted. In fact, it was not until a little more than a year later, after the yeshiva had relocated from Hebron to Yerushalayim, that they were ultimately accepted into the Slobodka Yeshiva. The audience waited expectantly as the rabbi concluded with a sudden thunderous roar. And do you know what happened during that fateful year in 1929? It's well known that on the 18th of Av, bands of Arab hoodlums Yamach Shemam V'Zechram stormed the yeshiva in Hebron and carried out the most heinous, bloody massacre. Barely a handful of survivors managed to escape the vicious pogrom. His eyes ablaze, the rabbi concluded. Can you imagine if Rev Ruvain would have not sent the message to Reb Moshe Mordechai? Who knows what might have become of our beloved Magid? Who knows if the world would have merited to benefit from the sparks that he spread? The irony wasn't lost on the stunned listeners as Reb Shalom stood up to speak. Until this day, he began quietly, I never understood why we weren't accepted into Slobodka that first time. Now, it's crystal clear. Ladies and gentlemen, reflecting on the twists and the turns of our very own lives, I'm reminded of the profound truth captured in the words, and you shall see my back. It's a testament to the intricate web of our own existence where every fiber, every event is woven with purpose by the hands of the divine. The story of Reb Shalom Schwadron's journey resonates so deeply because it speaks to the very essence of our own human experience. How often do we find ourselves grappling with rejection or disappointment? Perhaps a yeshiva turned us down, a shidduch, a job offer that we didn't get, only to realize later that they were berachot in disguise. Imagine for a moment the young Shalom and Ezra, crestfallen as they faced rejection from Slobodki Yeshiva, not understanding why their dreams were deferred, why their aspirations seemed thwarted. Yet little did they know, in that moment of apparent setback, they were being shielded from the horrors of a massacre that would claim the lives of the majority of their peers. It's in these moments of reflection that our hearts swell with gratitude for the unseen hand that guides us. It's the tears shed in hindsight, tears of recognition for the protection and providence that eluded us in the moment. And it's in the realization that even amidst the darkness of uncertainty, there shines a glimmer of hope, a beacon of bitachon in the perfection of Borei Olam's plan. Every rejection, every delay is but a prelude to a much greater beracha yet to unfold. In the end, it's not about the obstacles we face, but the unwavering bitachon that carries us through. For in Borei Olam's hands, we find our truest refuge, our deepest solace, and our most profound joy. And in the end, that's all we ever really need to know. Shabbat Shalom u'mevorach.